Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on when it's finds you. Just want to talk a little bit today about politics, just a little bit. Especially seeing that we're headed into the 2024 national election in about, it's a little bit over 10 months or so, something like that. That first Tuesday in November. Looking at what recently transpired. Old Rick Ron DeSantis dropped out and down there from Florida, and I can't think of the other guy's name that just dropped out the week before, and Christie dropped out before then. So I think we're down to a two-person position on the Republican side, and Nikki Haley and Donald Trump. And then on the on the Democratic side, you still got Jim Crow Joe, and I still think the Democrats might be holding something up their sleeve up until the last minute. But that's just me. Uh, I don't participate anymore, so I just look at things for the way they are. And I said, here it is, not just me, but everybody that participates in the voting system, many of us in our 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, still participating in the voting system. And especially if you're black, you haven't seen anything really improve for us as a people. We keep playing these musical chairs. It's amazing that both sides of the political fence believe that things are always bad when the opposition party is in control. Yet, if we all agree and we're on different sides that things are bad when the party we don't vote for is in control, why do we continue to play the voting game? Things don't improve when Republicans are in control. Things don't improve when Democrats are in control. Uh, Yet the people run out every election cycle thinking they're going to change something. Well, first of all, when I found out about the Electoral College years ago, I said, asked myself the question, does my vote really count? And that's when I really started to question, was it really worth me going down and playing in this game when, you can look at the popular vote and then a group of people say, well, we still not going to get an election to this particular person. But then they want to say we're a democratic society. They want to say we're a democratic republic, or we have a republican form of government. But they're not allowed to exercise our right in a democracy because we're not a democracy. We're a Republican form of government. At least we're supposed to be. We're more of a totalitarian form of system with socialism and common tenets uh, running everything. But see, we don't understand that yet. We still think, these puppets are actually doing something on our behalf. But yeah, each one of them get in and do a little something, to make it look like, oh, they did this while he was in. They did something. And, but at the end of every election cycle, um, everybody else has gotten something except black people. With the exception of when Donald Trump was in office, he created that what second step or first step, one of those programs where a lot of men and women were able to benefit from the being improperly locked up, or I'm not going to say improperly locked up, but being locked up for um, victimless crimes. And he put some things in place for HBCUs. And then Joe Biden went in and reversed that too. But black people say Trump didn't do it right, because Joe Biden went in and reversed it. And Obama went in with his first term, and he actually stripped all the fund from HBCUs, and then in the next budget he put it back, and then black people say, "Look what he did for black people." Man, y'all stupid. And my wife don't like me to use that, but when I just start talking off the cuff, ain't no telling what's gonna come out my mouth. But do what you want when November comes around. The first week in November comes around. But for me, I've been eligible for 34 years, and the only thing I've witnessed is things getting progressively worse, regardless of which party's in control. Have I seen small gains under the president? Yeah, I've seen them. You know, have they been enough to say they really did something good for America? Well, not really. Amazingly, neither party has ever addressed reparations actively other than paying lip service. However, both parties can always seem to find billions to send other countries every year. We have a homeless population that continues to grow each month. Yet your politicians on both sides can find it in their hearts to vote for stimulus packages for other countries. We have military veterans who put their lives on the line for what they thought was right, but America kicks them to the curb once they are harmed or killed. Why do we need organizations like the Disabled Veterans of America or Wounded Warriors? I'm not putting these organizations down at all. I see the commercials come on TV and all the time, and every time I see these commercials, I sit there and I shake my head in disgust. And my wife and I sit there and we talk about that and say, why are our veterans in basically a position to have an organization have to go speak for them and basically beg people to help these men and women who've been harmed by politicians? Yeah, politicians didn't go over there, but politicians sent them there on both sides. All of them were war hawks for the most part. You know, they put your loved ones in harm's way. And I know you say, yeah, but they signed up for that. Yeah, why you think the recruiting is down right now? Because people done got tired of the politicians' lies. People done got tired of putting their lives on the line for these other countries who don't give a damn about them. See, both parties always want to blame the other side, but regardless of which party is supposed to be in charge, and one of them is found in criminal behavior, no one ever goes to prison for their crime. What they do is tell them to just go ahead and retire, step down from politics. They never pay for their action. There's a video of Donald Trump with Klaus Schwab, and Trump is praising him. I mean, how delusional are we as a people? Now, there's actually more than one video, and on one of the videos, and these are different. These are different instances. These were different times. These was not the same day because they were in different clothes each time. And one dude said, the video he posted. He said, "Yeah, I said a video and I saw Trump praising him and all that." He said, "But I still plan on voting for Trump, and it doesn't bother me that Trump, saying, you know." These things about Klaus Schwab because Trump is doing what we've always heard, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. I mean, if that's the lie you gonna sell yourself, go right ahead. Um, because if that's the case, um, you can't say Biden is any different. If that's the narrative we're going with, amazingly, the Democratic president meets with the head of WEF and Republicans complain. A Republican meets with the head of the WEF and they justify because that's who they want to vote for. Hey, do what you want to do. I just ain't participating in that system anymore. At this stage of the game, if my wife ran for office, she wouldn't get my vote either. So if I won't vote for the person closest to me, I ain't voting for nobody else. I told you once before, if my mama ran for office, I wouldn't vote for her because ain't nothing in that system but corruption. If you happen to win office on accident and you're a moral person, you either gonna get with the program or you gonna be out the next election. That's just the way it is. Or you gonna stay in and get blackmail and then gonna have to stay in for the rest of your life, beholden to the system that holds the blackmail card on you. See, that's how much faith and trust I have in the electoral system. And by the way, my wife would never run for office. Wife has never been able to stay in that system. Guess what? My wife ain't voted a day in her entire life. Not once. See, in some households, you have one person vote for the Democratic candidate and another, and a spouse will vote for the Republican candidate. Let me let you in on a little secret. I saw that, in one of Norman Vincent Peale's book years ago where he talked about his parents did that. So let me let you in on a little secret. Y'all might as well stay at home. Y'all canceled each other's vote out. Like I said, I read that in one of Norman Vincent Peale book years ago. Uh, which one was that in? Because Norman Vincent Peale wrote several books. I can't think of the name of the book that one was in. But he said his daddy voted Republican and his mama voted Democrat. And so, you're canceling your vote out. So why even go? You might as well stay at home and spend that energy doing something productive. Because voting ain't productive for none of us. I know. A lot of people caught up in it. No longer here, but my parents and grandparents, were actively involved in that system. They believed in it because they um, came through an era when many blacks were denied the right to vote. And, contrary to what's been taught, the Democratic Party actually took that right to vote away from black people. The Democratic Party, the party y'all vote for, took the right to vote away from black people. The Democratic Party, the one gave literacy tests to black people before they were allowed to vote. The Democratic Party would stand outside the polling booth and make sure you voted for Democrats, or they would lynch you and kill you if you didn't. But y'all so caught up in the voting system. We ain't changed, and hope and change, hope and change, hope and change. You do better going in your house and you hope it change. But stay at home and spend your energy doing something productive. Because the question I always hear when I tell blacks, look here, you keep voting for these Democrats, and what have you got to show? So what you're saying, I should vote for the Republicans? Did I say that? I didn't say that at all. Stop voting for Democrats. I never said vote for the Republicans. I said stop voting for Democrats. But so many black folks' brains have been pickled, they can't understand how to think on their own. See, Democrats and Republicans can both find money for foreign countries. But we've been hearing since Barack Obama was in office that infrastructure will be fixed. And infrastructure ain't been fixed yet. We still got potholes in Houston. I remember the last mayor we had, when he got in office, I'm going to fix all the potholes. Yeah, we got more potholes. Yeah, he was a Democrat, current mayor. Right before the runoff took place, I started seeing a lot of the potholes being filled with tar. Tar is a temporary situation. So guess what we're gonna have again? Potholes. Guess what party he belongs to? Democrat. But infrastructure. Joe Biden talked about infrastructure. And see, with the amount of money being spent on foreign countries, our infrastructure should be top notch. We shouldn't be experiencing no threats of an electrical grid shutdown at all. See, Democrats and Republicans claim they are for the people, but every year we are threatened with a government shutdown of services to the people that taxes have been collected for. I mean, right now they keep, kicking the ball down the road another week. See, but one thing that never gets impacted during a government shutdown or threat of a government shutdown are their salaries. Even though they were never supposed to be, a politician was never supposed to be a full-time position. So it should have never been a salary. They were supposed to receive a stipend once a year for their service to the people because they were supposed to go serve a maximum of 2 terms and then go back into the communities that they were supposed to represent and answer for the laws, rules, and regulations that they signed off on and passed. But that doesn't happen. They become a set apart class. So you do what you want to do in November. I'm telling you what ain't happening in my house. Talk to you later.